Blog Talk Radio.
It's Blog Talk Radio, and this is Deb calling in from Houston, Texas on a, I'd say bright night, but it's kind of dark out there tonight and a little chilly. And we've got AK on the line. How are you, AK?
Good. I have to say that was a little anticlimactic without our music. I didn't have anything to bop around to.
I know. So let's explain why there's no music playing yet. We have new commercials.
Yeah, so we have our friend Skylar Fox put together some new commercials for us that we're going to test drive with everybody right now because we have two versions and we need some feedback. So I guess we're going to play both of them. We'll have A and B, and then if you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/socialgeekradio and let us know which one you like better, then you'll help us pick.
Right. So let's go ahead and let's see now. This is the first time we've loaded it, first time we've played it, so that's just my disclaimer. I'm going to hit play, and we'll see what happens. So here's commercial number 1.
Are you looking to take your social technology strategies to the next level? Then do we have a show for you. Social Geek Radio co-hosts AK Stout and Deb Evans chat weekly with innovative technology folks who share their experiences, tips, and tricks to help you take your business to the next level. Social Geek Radio is brought to you by Saying It Social and Deb Evans Consulting, LLC. To learn more about their unique services, including but not limited to speaking, consulting, and training, visit AK Stout and DebEvansConsulting.com.
So do you think it's a little loud, AK?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So, because we loaded it. So, all right. So that's commercial number 1, and this time it does fade out very nicely. And we'll go ahead and let's hit commercial number 2.
Are you looking to take your social technology strategies to the next level? Then do we have a show for you. Social Geek Radio co-hosts AK Stout and Deb Evans chat weekly with innovative technology folks who share their experiences, tips, and tricks to help you take your business to the next level. Social Geek Radio is brought to you by Saying It Social and Deb Evans Consulting, LLC. To learn more about their unique services, including but not limited to speaking, consulting, and training, visit AK Stout and DebEvansConsulting.com.
All right. So we'll have to see what everybody thinks about that.
Yes. So go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/socialgeekradio, and let us know if you like number 1 or number 2. And if we pick the one that you pick, then we'll send you a koozie.
That's right. So our guest has been very patient, waiting while we play our commercials. Why don't you go ahead and introduce him, and we'll let him out. And let's see, we'll let him be the first voter for commercial 1 or commercial 2.
All right. Okay, well, our guest tonight is Sterling Mckinley, and he has 2 companies, which I will let him tell you all about. And actually, I had met Sterling in person before. He lives local to me. But Sterling, I guess I'll let you tell everybody, because I'm not sure I even asked you when we first met.
Okay.
How you found me. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So how did you first find me? We went, and I remember we met at the meeting.
I found you via the social web. So I'm a big LinkedIn guy. So probably I first saw you on LinkedIn maybe about 2 years ago.
Oh.
I said, okay, this AK Stout, she looks like she knows what she's doing. See some of your posts. So kind of stalkerish, I was kind of following you for the last couple of years. And, one day I said, hey, sent your email, let's meet. And ever since then, we've been kind of going back and forth. So I guess you're a social geek, and I'm kind of a mobile geek. So it's a good matchup.
That works. are welcome on our show.
Right,
Absolutely.
yeah, geeks are pretty cool now, so it's not a bad thing anymore.
So, Sterling, tell us about your background, what you do, and your companies, and then how you help other companies.
Yeah, well, my background, let's see, I have a love, and a passion for marketing in general, so, I really combined that with kind of online marketing. Back when I was in college, I started a company called Mckinley Media, and, it was kind of basic, in general online marketing, so companies with a website, social media, now mobile marketing, video, and really anything to find more clients online. And, I think what really makes my company different is it's not just about a website, because don't tell anybody, but anybody can design a website. But, I found through the years that there are actually very few people and companies that focus on making sites work. So translating those visitors into sales, into phone calls, and purchases. So that's kind of what I do for my clients. So kind of fast forward, beginning of this year, I started another company called Apps for Business, and that's just mobile marketing. And it's kind of funny the way I got started. I was talking to my clients, the past couple of years, and they were always asking about, apps and mobile websites and this and that. And I was like, that's not really what I do, wait around. So finally this year in January, I started that company, and the results and the response has been great. Mobile is a really hot topic now, and, thanks to Apple and the iPad and iPhone, everybody's hearing about it and talking about it. So, a lot of times I'm the first person to really come into a client's office and show them how mobile really works and how their clients are using it. So it's been a really good response so far.
That's awesome. I know.
I said a lot, so.
Every time I hear somebody say that, people are like, oh, I want apps, all I can think about is you when you were at Computer Explorers and all you wanted was an app.
I want an app. I want an app. I still want an app. And I'm with you about the smartphones and iPads and mobile being the thing. I just drove back from Austin, and my radio is not working. I had to replace a battery in my car, and when you do that in my type of car, you have to put this special code in. So I get in the car, and I'm ready to do this 3-hour drive, and go, oh, no radio. No, that can't be. I can't do this. So iPad sitting on the seat beside me is like, oh, I'll just use my app on my iPad, and I'll just play my music all the way there, 3 hours up and 3 hours back. It's like, thank you very much, technology.
You really hit it on the point, like even today, mobile is that go-to thing. Today I was out doing some shopping. I went to find Target. Where's Target at? Oh, pull my phone out. I got in Target and got GPS directions right to the location. So, I mean, that's why mobile is so great. It's a natural fit. It's not something that's pushed or forced. It just really fits in really well to, everybody's everyday life.
Very cool. And we'll get a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Jen.
No, I was going to say I have a question. AK, you titled the show, and I know the three of us know what it stands for, but why don't we explain what this Solomo, whatever stands for, and let everybody know what we're actually, talking about.
You want me to explain it?
Oh,
yeah. You're the expert for us tonight.
Okay, so that's for tonight. So, it stands for social, mobile, and local. So, they kind of explain the first part, social. The thing I love about social media is I have a new guest calling in.
Yes.
Going back to social. Social is a big thing now. Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, all these different, technologies that really connect people. So that's one part. The next part is mobile. So, what I tell a lot of my clients is social is mobile, and that, people aren't sitting at home say, hey, I'm going to take 20 minutes and get on Facebook or get on Twitter. It's a part of their everyday life, when they're at work, when they're shopping, when they're waiting for their kids to get out of practice. So that's where kind of the mobile part comes in. And then local. People really search for things, products and services that are in their area, whether that's a lawyer, whether it's a doctor, a restaurant. So, together, social, mobile, local really are a really strong combination. So that's kind of my little summary, what that means.
That's a good one. And you really see it a lot now. I mean, at conferences and discussions. But I think I remember when I first saw it, which doesn't seem like it was that long ago, maybe 6 months, a year ago. Even I was looking at it going, what? What is that? Oh yeah, I get it. I can figure that out. But I often have people ask me, it's like, what are you talking about? Is that a new lingo?
Right.
All right. I don't know if it's safe to be off of mute, but I'm going to try it for a minute. I think we have an intruder that's just going to hack me in the middle of Social Geek Radio. But anyway.
Let him in.
Yeah. So, Sterling, one of the reasons why I love running into at conferences and everything is because I think we have very similar approaches to the social world and working with clients. So explain to everybody a little bit what your approach is to social media when you're working with your clients.
Yeah, well, my approach is a little different. I think a lot of companies, big and small, even a lot of big brands, I won't say any names, get caught up in a numbers race. Who has the most followers, who has the most fans, and, it's really kind of the wrong way to go about it. A lot of companies just really do that. It's just the easy thing to do. And, hey, if I have 1 million followers, that means something. And it really means nothing. So what I stress to my clients is really, having quality followers versus over quantity. So that's my approach, first off. And second, I would say, too, having, quality content, not just sending out random blog posts and articles or a picture of your cat or your dog, but, things that your base is really interested in. And I guess the last approach I would say is, really, telling everything you do to your ambassadors and going back to, not being a numbers game. You really want to focus on, your people that are really crazy about your brand, your product, your people that are going to get online and blog or going to retweet or going to tell friends about it. So, I think those three things are kind of a lot of times overlooked because, one, it takes longer to do that stuff. But I think the brands that do it well, the results are, pretty substantial.
Right. I totally agree with you, especially now when you have things like Facebook algorithm that are chopping down the amount of stuff that we push out. It's better to have a few more quality interactions than it is to try to just be reaching the masses.
Yeah, and I would say, too, going back to quality, I hear people say, social media and computers are taking our lives over and they're destroying communication, and that couldn't be any farther from the truth. They're really enhancing it. they're really enhancing it and, really, facilitating relationships. So the reason, too, I say it's not about a numbers game because, when you make friends, it's a real interaction. And, I mean, do you want 1,000 friends or do you want 75 really good friends that care about you? So they care about your brand and your product. So, I really couldn't stress that enough. It's online, but it still has that personal touch to it. And, people are really turned off to that mass appeal, that mass message. They want things that are localized, that are really personalized, to their needs and wants.
I agree, and AK and I both can, I'm sure will agree that your friends online are just as real as your friends that you see every day. I have so many online friends that they're, and I use the word sincerely. They're my friends. And sometimes I'll say, that's my Twitter friend, that's my Facebook friend, that's my real friend. And AK loves her online friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay. I haven't said it in a really long time. And see, a lot of my online friends have become my in-person friends, so it's not really a fair anymore. But
that's
I used to say that I like my online friends better than my offline friends. Sorry, offline friends. But see, now it's melding, so it's all good.
Right.
That's true. Well, that's true because your offline friends are still offline, but I have met now some of AK's online friends in person, and it's a different. I think they're different people with different personalities. And
I'll say too. I mean, at least for me, in the business standpoint, they're really good connections that I wouldn't have made any other way. especially on LinkedIn. I found a king on LinkedIn. We happen to live in the same area we met, and, now I'm on the show. But, there's people across the country and in California and Colorado, across the world that I would never have met. But we do the same thing, in a sense. I see them on Twitter or see them on LinkedIn. They follow me. I follow them. And, so you never know. So it's, going back to, I guess being local, it really makes you international, be able to connect with somebody anywhere in the world, anytime.
And it's done, wouldn't you say that the whole social aspect of it has really enhanced businesses and grown? But I mean, you grow your network because of your new network online. What does that do for? We know what it can do for consumers. What does it do for business owners?
I think it's great. I mean, I think a lot of business owners don't see the value in it because it does take time to do it. I said, just in real life, it takes time to foster, relationships in life, like online. So, my personal story, it's been wonderful. One, LinkedIn, being able to connect people that are like-minded in my industry. Also, Twitter. I'm a big Twitter guy. That direct connection to anybody in the world has been amazing. So, I think for a business owner, for networking, for colleagues, it's great. And I even have a few business partners that I found, a service that a client wanted that I really don't offer. Go on Twitter, done the research, go on LinkedIn, and done it that way. So, for a business owner, a lot of business, can be exchanged through networks as well. And that's how I find a lot of companies that way.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think like kind of like Deb was saying, that's what is making a lot of businesses even better this day, finding people to collaborate with and not being sort of nailed down to your specific geographic location. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about social sort of melding with mobile? Do you think more people are now accessing mobile on their devices or still sort of hanging out at the computer? Where are we trending in that way?
Right. I don't have any hard data, but I would say definitely moving more towards, tablets and in their phones because, like I said, it's a natural fit. You don't sit down and say, okay, 20 minutes a day for Twitter or Facebook. Social media is really a disruptive technology, so you do it in those gaps in your day, whether that's, waiting for somebody at work, in the line, in the car. Not supposed to, but people still do it. So I think inherently, social it is mobile. I don't think it was started out that way or supposed to be that way, but it's a natural progression. And I think especially when you start to tie in location-based services like Foursquare and some others like that it's just a natural fit. People are on the move, more than ever, in the history of the world. And, so social has to go with that. And on that point, that's why I tell my clients, I say, your customers are mobile. Are you? And it's really, a simple question, but that's where people are going. So I think, as brands, business owners, you have to be in that social space, in that mobile space to really want to stay relevant and also keep up with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
For a business to go mobile, what would you say would be the first step? To have a mobile
app? To call me.
Yeah, after they call you. How would they like you to have an app or to make their website mobile?
Yeah, well, a great question. Like I said, I get a lot of people say, I want an app. And, I blame Apple for that because the commercials, there's an app for that, there's an app for that. Yes, there is an app for that, but are you going to really use it? So, I first start off with my clients talking about, one, the cost of an app can be really high, and, secondly, hey, you're a pizza shop. Is somebody really going to download your app just to order pizza? Probably not. In my opinion, most of the most successful apps are really utilities, Facebook, Twitter, GPS directions, things like that. So, initially, I try to steer my clients kind of away from apps, and I really think it's more of a walk, crawl, run approach. So first, like you said, your website. Make sure you have a good website. Next, you want to get a mobile site. And a mobile site, just your website condensed, down to a friendly version where people can, find basic services about your company, locations, phone number, and services. And then, once you have a mobile site for a while, it makes sense. If you have some traction, people are asking for it, then I would say invest the time and develop an app.
Mm-hmm. I know. I think it's like an attractive thing to be like, oh, we have an app for our business, and then you go to their website and you have to do the inverted pinch and scroll, see all corners of the website, and you're like, no, you need a mobile site first.
Exactly.
So, in your opinion, whether it's in the mobile space or the social media space, what kind of companies have you seen doing social media very well?
I talk about industry. I think automotive. I think they kind of get it. Dealerships using QR codes on their cars, and other day I went to CarMax. They have a great mobile website. I was really surprised. Just as powerful and flexible and as fast as their desktop website. So, auto industry. I would say two of those more young, kind of hit brands. Target, they do a good job. Retailers, also I would say restaurants do a good job with being mobile, social as well. And what else? I would say too, fashion and retail. A lot of the big fashion brands seem to have invested time in mobile and social. And the last one I would say is banking. Bank for America, some of the other big banks really have really nice mobile applications. And kind of going back to what I was saying about having an app, they have apps where you can, pretty much do everything from your bank from an app. So I think those are some industries that really, really get it and really see where it's going.
Yeah, I love my bank app where I can take a picture of the check and it deposits in the account. I don't even have to go to the bank.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool. And I think some businesses sort of lend themselves better to social, so it's a little bit easier for them because people are going to the web specifically for a lot of these things to look up consumer reviews and stuff. So I think it's important for businesses who fall outside of these industries, not get discouraged, but just realize that they might have to work a little bit harder to figure out, where their conversations are happening that they could jump into, or exactly what they need to do to also be successful in this space.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, those are some of my top industries, but I mean, every business and every service category, could be using this, more and better. So, the sky's really the limit. And it's funny. I was actually talking yesterday to a group of young entrepreneurs, and I was telling them that this is only the start of social and mobile. People think that we're kind of halfway or we're almost at the pinnacle, but this is only the start. So another year or 2, 3 years, who knows what's going to be out there as far as a new social network. And, I was saying that same topic. I think the next few years are going to be really, really interesting because a lot of companies now were built, let's say, brick and mortar and analog, and then they were forced to go digital and social. But the new companies coming out now are going to be social and mobile right off the bat. And I think those companies are going to learn from some of the mistakes of some of the companies now. So I think the next couple of years are going to be really, really exciting as far as new technologies. And I think even more, there'll be better applications where, mobile and social are really tied more into our life.
Yeah, I think
that's a really good point.
Everything will just happen for us eventually.
I'll just
look at my phone and it will know where I want to shop and where the deals are, and then it will drive me there, and then I get all the deals handed to me, and Well, actually, I read an article. I don't know if it was today or yesterday that was calling it social merchandising was going to be the next wave in the trend for 2013. So I thought that was a sort of an interesting, a phrase that now the industry is going to pick up to use, talking about that going forward. And they were talking about, how Pinterest and even now Facebook collections and Instagram and everything. It's just, basically, if you have merchandise to sell, social is where you need to be making the sales at this point.
Right.
Absolutely. And I had in the group I was working with yesterday, Office Furniture USA, a few of them were picking up on just that and start talking amongst themselves about Pinterest and how to start taking these really great shots of their furniture, their desktops, their chairs, and putting it on Pinterest. And there was one young lady in the audience that said, "I'm doing that," and she was giving statistics about how it was driving traffic to her website and her online shopping. So they just need to know how to use it.
Right.
We're talking about the Starbucks apps in our chat room.
In the chat.
In our Social Geek Radio chat room. And one of our listeners, Sarah, was saying how their mobile app is tracking and all that kind of stuff. And I use their app too, and we were saying, but we still keep going because that's probably why they don't fix it, because they know we're still going to come for the coffee.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I would go saying back to having an app that, apps aren't for the casual user. They're for those brand ambassadors, people that are just in love with Starbucks or in love with Target. So those are the people more likely that are going to download, your app, not the casual user. So just something to keep in mind.
Good point. They need to cater to us to keep us in love with them.
They need to feed our addiction. They need to feed our addiction of mobile. Feed it. We need more apps. What's next? Technology.
The more caffeine they give me, the more I need an app.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you said too is really great, because that's another cool thing about social media. Whereas before in marketing there was all these big elaborate studies done, but now you can hear really directly from your consumer base if it flies or not. So if Starbucks really wanted, they could put a poll up on Facebook or Twitter tonight, get instant feedback on our app and what needs to be done to change it and make it better.
Yeah, I'm going to tweet them right now from all of the accounts that I'm tweeting Social Geek Radio from. And they will hear from us.
You know what, AK? We've had many guests because you've learned about them and you've tweeted about them. So you go ahead, you pull somebody from Starbucks to our show.
Oh,
so Sterling,
yeah.
Go ahead. I'll challenge you. Let me ask you this, Sterling. What kind of content do you really think the on-the-go consumers, what do they want to see? AK and I know what we want to see, but in your opinion,
right.
What kind of content should they want?
Well, I think it depends on the brand and the company, but of course, one thing, people want deals, they want offers, So it'd be great if you send out a QR code or a coupon to get half off your latte. So people really want offers, kind of reason to come back. And then too, I guess they also want creative, funny content. So the craziest things can go viral. So I think really looking for deals, look for something that's on topic but off topic, but at the same time entertaining. And then once again, I would say as far as content, they're looking for a real response. I'm always amazed by all the brands, the really, really big brands that you go to their Facebook page or Twitter page, and there's a list of questions that are unanswered.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to the old marketing principle, content is really king, and social media is about interaction. So a lot of brands fail at that interaction. That's really the main thing. So that question, they want to answer to it, now. They don't want to call customer service. They don't want to go on the website. They don't want to check FAQ page. They're going to get on Twitter. They're going to get on Facebook, and they might bash you. But that's still a chance to, answer their question and, solve their problem.
I feel like I'm in a social media sermon. I just want to yell preach it, brother, and hallelujah. I wish everybody would listen to this show because that is so important.
that's all right. We'll just keep repeating our message over and over again. So the statistics say you have to someone has to see it 7 times before it resonates. So it's like, all right, we'll say it 17 times, and they'll get it. That's okay.
Well, so for more in the mobile space, talk to us a little bit about location-based services and what businesses might need to get started in that area.
Yeah, I would say one, retail. People that are trying, to find your cafe, your shop. Even I'll say doctors and lawyers. I deal with a lot of lawyers now, and I'm telling that people want to be able to find your office location, right away. So location-based, it can be something like Foursquare or just a direction to your office. People really, want to find things that are local. I would say 2, location-based will be restaurants. People love to check in at their favorite spot and become a mayor or win a badge to be an ambassador. So location-based is really big. That's what it's, really all about, finding things that are in your local area that you, go to. And, yeah, I think for brands, too, that's another way to kind of stay on the radar without being in your customer's face constantly. Being on those networks and also using GPS data to target more of your customers.
Awesome.
I know AK loves the app that helps her decide what to eat sometimes.
Right.
I really like any app that will help me decide to do anything. As long as I'm really compulsive about it. Like, before I go out to eat or I go to the store, I check Yelp, and then I pull up the thing on Foursquare, and I look at the Foursquare reviews, and then I go to their Facebook and their Twitter, and I see if they have any coupons and discounts. And it probably takes me an extra half hour to go any place I want to go to because I'm looking for information. But the information is out there now.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point, and it reminds me of a client that I'm talking with now that will go unnamed until they sign a contract. But this client, they're actually located in the Baltimore area, and they really want to promote shopping local. And that's a really big thing now. A lot of cities and states are really saying, hey, let's keep things, in state or in your local area. So, location-based services are great for that. So we're talking about designing an app that would be pretty simple, that would have a list of categories. So it would have one for fashion, one for retail, one for food. You could click on that. It would tie into GPS data in your area, and it would show you those categories that are around your area. You could go to them, GPS directions, phone number. Very, very simple, but something that's not being done now. And then, too, we're also talking about breaking it up by neighborhood. So let's say downtown, let's say midtown. So really tying in local companies and helping people really find you. Because I would say, too, I discover new places every week and say, oh, I didn't know I was there. But a lot of these new services are really helping people discover these really, niche, non-chain type stores that otherwise you wouldn't find other than something like social media or Facebook.
It's all about being found now. If you're not there, you don't exist, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my 2 cents for what it's worth.
Well, it's true. How often do we talk about people about building their digital footprint, and they say why? It's like, why not? And the whole conversation is, people Google or they Bing or they do Yahoo, and they're searching, right. And if you're not out there, how are they going to find you? And it's more than foot traffic. And, you've got your consumers that will come into your location because that's what they do and they're local. And then you have some who are going to purchase from you and find you because they found you on the web.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you said it. You have to be there. And, mobile and social is really becoming the kind of the go-to marketing. And to be kind of, funny sometimes when I go to a client, I give them my laptop and say, okay, find your business online. Without typing in the name of your company in. A lot of times they don't come up. They really can't be found. So it's really a must. And I would say, too, a lot of people that I talk to, they've been burned before by TV or radio or other things that are, are really mass and cost a lot of money. But, I always tell people that, the cost of entry to get into mobile social is really affordable. And, it's really trackable, and it's really a great return on investment. So, don't let, past experiences of marketing damper your, I guess, excitement for mobile and social, because it's a different medium, and it's all those things in one. And, not to go on too much, like I said, I'm a mobile geek, but your smartphone is amazing. It's everything. It's a calendar. It's your search. It's directions. It has your recipes, pictures, video. It goes on and on. So companies, brands have to be there. It's not even an option anymore. I mean, if you're not, on social and mobile now, your company is on a downward spiral, and you don't even know it.
I agree. It's your wallet, as you said earlier. When you do banking,
exactly.
You bank with your phone. My son does that banking. We're not using it yet, but I saw him have a check. And he said, "Okay, I got to deposit this. Hold on 1 minute. Take the picture. Have it deposited." So we do have a question here in the chat, and the question is: as a small business owner, I'm not a location based, starting out in business and social media. Where should I focus my attention to start generating online leads?
Right. Great question, and I would say it really depends on your brand and what you're doing. So I always tell companies that, it's not a one-size-fits-all model. You really have to do some research and, look at some of your competitors and find out for your industry, for your service, what are the top networks for your company. So if Facebook is not your top network, don't spend too much time. If that's Pinterest and Twitter, spend time there. So I think the first basic step is really finding out where your people are at, what sites are they really on, and what content they want. That's the first step of really getting more leads from that. And like I always say, social media and mobile, it's a conversation starter. So, you're starting that sales process, and you have to definitely nurture that with information, because, I would say that, quote unquote, the greasy kind of salesman is kind of dying out. The new sales is information. So if you provide your base with information that they want and like about your product, it's a no-brainer. You really make it easy for your consumers to buy from you.
Well, and this particular listener is a loyal listener, and I know that he has I guess I would describe it as promotional business, where he made our Social Geek Radio koozies for us, logo T-shirts, logo USB drives, things like that. So I'm going to throw out there, I would think that Mango Tree Brands really would have a great presence on Pinterest. AK, what do you think?
Pictures. Yeah, very visual.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Pinterest and Instagram. And
I was going to say Instagram would be my second choice, because Instagram we find is searchable and seems to be the newest trend as far as doing searches and finding brands and finding products. But I would think between Pinterest and Instagram, Dana, you should be able to get lots and lots of leads from that.
Right, and I would say too, the forgotten kind of stepchild of social media, Facebook, YouTube. People want to see demonstrations of products and service. So if you can make a video explaining in a minute or two what you do for some of your products and service, that's really powerful, because a lot of companies are not using video. So if you can put a video together, it doesn't have to be a Hollywood production, but, it shows you, goes a long way. Because, one thing I'll say, too, about online, whether it's social media, your website, whatever, that it's about trust. When you're online, you don't really know who you're buying from. So being social, being open, having pictures, having videos, having mobile site, all those things build trust. So once you really build trust, with your client, they're more, apt to do business with you.
Yeah, and I agree with the video. I was telling somebody yesterday, it's like, you sell wonderful office chairs. Tell me about it. Tell me with really, really great descriptions about this chair and how passionate and how, I sit for 8 hours and the chair would breathe and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, now do what you just did and put it on a video. Oh, exactly, no. It's like, okay, if you can't do it, then tell me the chair and I'll do it, because a video and that spoken word and seeing somebody how excited they are about a silly thing like a chair, but it's really cool. I mean, it's important. I sit on my butt 8 hours a day. Be a good chair.
Even from a more serious case, I deal with a lot of lawyers, and I'm stressing video that, when somebody has a legal matter, they're in crisis mode. So, depending upon your service, if you're a crisis services, whether that's healthcare, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer, people want that connection. So if you can make a connection in video, do your computer say, I understand your situation. I can help you. These are my services. Call me now. That's so impactful and goes so much farther than 95% of the websites online.
Yep. And YouTube is the second largest search engine now, so get those videos out there if you're trying to get those online customers and they're searching. Have those right keywords out there. And the great video.
I'm completely shocked that you brought up video.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Well, when we meet in December, AK, I keep threatening. So, Sterling, the inside joke here is, I love video. AK hates video. I love pictures, especially, So I try to sneak video and pictures of AK when she's not looking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm totally on board with videos of other people and for businesses to promote it. It's just not me being the subject of the video that I'm a fan of.
But she's a great presenter. She should be, and I'm trying to convince her, she needs to capture some of her presentations, even little clips of it, and get it out there. See?
Oh, well, Sterling took a picture of me at my presentation last week, and then he tweeted it. I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
But that was the best one. That was the best one, by the way. I took a few.
And it was totally fine, because it was only like a profile, so you couldn't really see my face. And I was like, I just pretend that's somebody else.
It could have been anybody, right?
She tweeted it, so she approved.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
He admitted it with her.
On that same topic, I'll say, great thing about video is that it can be used in so many places. So on your website, it can be your mobile site. You can put it on Facebook. You can shout out on Twitter. So, there's so many uses. So, I would say with social, too, a lot of my clients say, what am I going to talk about? And I say, we can take a lot of what you already have, your blog posts, your articles, related stories, and really repurpose that content. So it's not always new content. A lot of times it's just taking bits of stuff and, kind of, sporadically pushing it out to your user.
Mhm. Very good. So let's see, AK, do we have any other questions that we need to throw at Sterling? I wonder what his. I bet he's got some great tips that we haven't covered yet. Any tips and tricks that you need to let our audience know about?
Tips and trips. Tips and tricks. Mobile or social? I'm trying to think of a few. First, I guess I'll start out with social, actually. So, like I said, for one, getting to know your user base. What are their likes, what are their wants, and really giving them that. On that same note, offering great, engaging content that's dealing with things that they really want. On that same note, being on the right networks, like the caller who actually the chat room that asked a question, being on the right networks for your brand and, doing a network that is message your brand. I think that goes a long way, choosing the right network to be on. I would say also with social is finding your online ambassadors, those people that are crazy about your product. There's people online now that I don't get it, but they're on Facebook crazy about quitting those subs and other companies. So finding those lunatics, those really fanatic fans that are going to talk about you is really key because, what happens in social is that, I say it's kind of like a snowball effect. So you kind of start the conversation, and once you have brand ambassadors, they kind of carry the conversation for you. So it really takes off that way. And I would say, too, a lot of those ambassadors or really users also become customer service. So when somebody puts a question up, hey, how do I find this page, or how do I do this? If I'm a brand ambassador, I'm going to say, hey, oh, yeah, this is a great company. Do this, and this. And, it's done. So think about that, too, using social media as a customer service tool. It's a great way to do it. Give you a real-life scenario during the recently we had the storm Sandy. And, people who couldn't call in to the power company, so they got on Twitter and made posts about their outages. And the companies had people manning social networks, hey, know your power's down. We're sending crew out immediately. So customer service is really huge for social media.
I agree.
I like you guys.
Totally.
You agree very well. This is going very well.
You speak our language.
Yeah, we're not always so agreeable.
Right. So I would say, too, for mobile, like I said, it's a crawl, walk, run approach. So don't get into mobile and say, oh, we want an app right away. One, apps are a lot of money. They need to be thought out. And if you're doing an app, think about you're spending all that money. Is there going to be a return on investment? So really think about that. So first off, getting a mobile, have a good website. Have a nice website. Next, have a mobile website that's a scaled-down, dumb-friendly version of your website that has basic information, time, services, locations, directions, and phone number. Like I said, if that goes well, you can take some of that feedback, some of that momentum, and then you can move into getting an app for your company. But mobile is the future. I can't stress that enough to my clients. Like, you have to be there. It's no longer, an option. And I always tell a story of, back when the telephones were coming out. There were companies that didn't get it. So there were reps for AT&T that would go around to store owners and say, hey, you should buy a phone from us. And, there were store owners that said, why do I want a phone? People can walk down the street, and find my store. We send the catalog out. And those companies that said no, they're gone. they perished. They're not around no more. But they were savvy business owners said, hey, this is a new thing. This is a new way people are going to contact us. We need to have a phone. And those are the companies that prosper. And, fast forward, 100 to 200 years or so, that's still true for companies today. The companies of the future that are going to survive and thrive are the companies that see the future, see the present, that mobile and social are not going anywhere. I do a presentation. Actually, I'm doing one tomorrow night where I say mobile is not a fad. It's not Tickle Me Elmo. It's not NC Hammer. It's not a Pet Rock. It's not Justin Bieber. I make a prediction. Bieber will be gone in a few years. But anyway,
once he gets a couple years older.
Right. It's not a one-trick pony. It's not a fad. These things are here to stay. So, if I could shout it from a mountaintop, I would. Mobile, social, customers, you have to do it. Okay, your customers are doing it. And give one more, example that I will talk about is Blockbuster and Netflix. I think this example fits a lot of companies really well. So for years, Blockbuster was the big guy on the block. They had the movies and everything. So, but as time went on, it kind of changed. One, Blockbuster, if you went there and they didn't have the movie, you had to drive to a location. So it became, really, really inconvenient. Secondly, Blockbuster, they were very non-customer friendly. If you returned the video late, you were paying a mortgage out. I think it was like $5 a day. I mean, there was a time we forgot about a tape that fell underneath the couch, and it didn't cost us $30 for a movie. It was insane. And then one, as technology changed, guess what? People didn't want to get in the car anymore and drive the Blockbuster. So fast forward to late 90s, early 2000s, here's Netflix. Netflix responded to what customers wanted. They said, hey, there's a thing I call the internet. People can sit on their couch, they can browse movies, and they can stream them instantly. And, hey, we won't charge $5 per movie. We'll charge $10 a month for unlimited movies, unlimited streams. And if you order a DVD, there's no late fees. And, Blockbuster sat back because they were the big established company, didn't do, what the new guy was doing, didn't do what the customers wanted, and now they're in panic mode. They're perishing. So that's just a clear, example of how, a business owner, you would have to take that leap and that step, to really get into mobile and really get into social before it's too late.
Very good. I loved all of those examples. I'm like, I could turn you into a whole blog post. I'm like, all these good quotable things. Don't be Blockbuster. Okay.
Exactly. Don't be Blockbuster.
Don't be Blockbuster.
AK's got another tweet.
I know. Oh, yeah, the tweets are flying. All right, well, thank you so much, Sterling. Can you tell everybody which accounts of yours that you would like them to follow online and how they can connect with you?
Yeah, I have a lot of accounts, and remember them all. Do you got the list of my accounts by any chance?
I do. So I can tweet them. So if you just want to say the main ones so that people who are going to listen later can hear them, that would be cool. So your main Twitter account maybe that you use and a website?
Yeah. Would you mind going over those for me?
Oh, sure. Well, we have your @4_biz, so APPSFOR _ BIZ for Twitter. And then Facebook, you have here the Apps for Business is where you are on Facebook.
Correct.
And then website is appsthatconnect.com.
Right.
And then for your blog, sterlingmckinley.com.